Hello, dear viewers. You are on the channel where the scariest and most mysterious stories come to life. True events, dark legends, and fictional tales that will send shivers even down the bravest spine. Every story here is a journey beyond the ordinary. If you enjoy fear and the unknown, subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to leave a like so you never miss a single story.
Today I will tell you a story that chills me to the bone. This is not just a legend, it is a real mystery about the day an entire village vanished without a trace. Don't forget to subscribe and hit like. Stories like this must be remembered, so we never forget the shadows that sometimes fall over ordinary lives. He remembered the first time he heard about Hoer Verde, a small Brazilian village hidden deep in the jungle, where his uncle once lived. His name was Rafael, and he was just a boy when his family received a strange letter from his uncle, written in a trembling hand. He never forgot the words, "Something is wrong here. The nights are too quiet. People are afraid, but no one knows why." He begged his parents to let him visit Hoer Verde that summer, eager to see his uncle and the mysterious village for himself. He arrived by boat, the river winding through dense green walls of trees, the air thick with the scent of earth and unknown flowers. He saw the village appear suddenly on the shore, neat houses, gardens, smoke rising from chimneys, children playing in the dusty street. He ran to his uncle's house, but found only silence. The door was open, food left on the table, but no sign of his uncle. He wandered the village, calling out, but no one answered. The only sound was the wind rustling through the banana trees. He noticed that every house was empty, as if everyone had left in the middle of their day, leaving behind unfinished chores and half-eaten meals. He felt a chill run down his spine as he realized he was completely alone in a place that should have been full of life. He searched for clues, finding a radio still playing quietly in one home, a pot of water boiling away on a stove in another. He saw a dog sleeping on a porch, but it didn't wake up when he approached. Its body was cold, and he realized it had died recently. He checked the schoolhouse and found a message written in chalk on the blackboard, "There is no salvation." He felt panic rising in his chest, but forced himself to keep searching, desperate to find anyone who could explain what had happened. He found a shotgun leaning against a fence, recently fired, but there was no sign of a struggle or blood. He remembered his uncle's warning and wondered if something supernatural had swept through the village, taking everyone away. He searched the gardens and fields, but the crops were untouched, and there were no footprints leading away from the village. He checked the church, expecting to find people praying or hiding, but it was empty, candles still burning on the altar. He called out for hours, his voice echoing off empty walls, but only the birds answered, their songs strangely muted. He tried to make sense of it all, but his mind raced with fear and confusion, unable to accept that an entire village could simply disappear. He remembered stories of curses and spirits from his childhood, and wondered if Hoer Verde had become another ghost story. He spent the night in his uncle's house, unable to sleep, listening to the unfamiliar silence pressing in from all sides. He woke at dawn, hoping to find someone had returned, but the village was still deserted, the air heavy with dread. He gathered his courage and walked to the edge of the jungle, looking for any sign of where the villagers might have gone. He found nothing, no broken branches, no trampled grass, no trail to follow. It was as if the earth had swallowed them whole. He returned to the center of the village and rang the church bell, hoping the sound would bring someone out of hiding. He waited for hours, but no one came. The only response was the distant call of a howler monkey in the trees. He searched the school again, reading the message on the blackboard over and over, trying to understand what it meant. He found a notebook on the teacher's desk, filled with frantic handwriting, "They come at night." We cannot fight them. Forgive us." He wondered who they were, and why no one had tried to run or defend themselves. He tried the village's only telephone, but the line was dead, the receiver buzzing with static. He checked the riverbank, thinking maybe the villagers had fled by boat, but all the canoes were still tied up, untouched. He saw strange marks in the mud near the water, not footprints, but deep, round impressions he couldn't identify. He felt eyes watching him from the jungle, but when he turned, there was nothing but shifting shadows and tangled vines. He remembered his uncle's stories about lights in the sky and strange noises at night, but had always thought they were just tales to scare children. He tried to leave the village, but the path through the jungle seemed to twist and change, leading him back to the same clearing every time. He grew more desperate as the day wore on, his fear mounting with every unanswered question. He tried to write down everything he saw, hoping someone would believe him if he ever escaped. He rationed the food he found in the houses, not knowing how long he would be trapped in the empty village. He began to hear whispers at night, voices just beyond the edge of hearing, calling his name and begging for help. He saw shadows moving in the corners of his vision, but when he looked directly, there was nothing there. He dreamed of his uncle, standing at the edge of the jungle, warning him to leave before it was too late. He woke each morning more exhausted, his nerves frayed by fear and loneliness. He tried to signal for help by lighting a fire, but the smoke seemed to vanish into the sky without a trace. He began to doubt his own sanity, wondering if he had imagined the entire village, or if he was the one who had disappeared. He found a photograph in his uncle's house, showing the villagers smiling at a festival, their faces now lost to time. He stared at the faces, trying to memorize them, not wanting them to be forgotten like so many others. He heard footsteps outside at night, slow and deliberate, but when he looked out the window, the street was empty. He tried to pray, but the words caught in his throat, his faith shaken by the horror of what he had witnessed. He wondered if the village was cursed, doomed to repeat its fate for anyone who entered. He began to lose track of time, the days and nights blending together in a blur of fear and confusion. He marked each day on the wall, determined to leave some record in case he vanished too. He heard the church bell ring by itself one night, the sound echoing through the empty streets. He ran outside, hoping to see another survivor, but found only the empty bell tower, swaying in the wind. He saw lights in the sky one night, bright and silent, moving in patterns he couldn't explain. He watched, mesmerized and terrified, as the lights hovered over the village, then vanished into the jungle. He wondered if the villagers had been taken by something not of this world, their disappearance forever unexplained. He wrote a final letter to his family, describing everything he had seen, and left it on his uncle's table. He packed his bag and tried one last time to find the path out, following the river upstream as far as he could. He stumbled through the jungle for hours, the sun setting behind him, the village finally disappearing from view. He emerged onto a road, weak and exhausted, and flagged down a passing truck, desperate to escape the nightmare. He told his story to the authorities, but when they returned to Hoer Verde, the village was gone, swallowed by the jungle. He was the only one who remembered, the last witness to a mystery that would never be solved. He never returned to Hoer Verde, but the memory of that silent, empty village haunted him for the rest of his life. He shared his story so others would know, so the lost would not be forgotten, and so the shadows would not win. Until next time, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and never forget the places where the world's greatest mysteries still hide.